I'll park the vehicle, sometimes depends on where you find a tree. It can be quite challenging to park the vehicle on the side of the road. So I'll try to position myself as best as I can, and then you're going to obviously get out the vehicle, check that it's safe first. Don't always just jump out of a car and get going. Check the surroundings and then stand next to your subject, and then what we'll be testing on is like presentation. Okay? So your communication, how well do you speak to your clients? Try to not speak into your subject and away from your crowd, the audience. So try to keep the channels of communication open at all times. Try to obviously try to keep a healthy balance between not speaking too loud and not speaking too soft. We've had a guy that once it was, this is a silver cluster leaf, and he started shouting, and I was like, wow, it was quite silly. I tell him to like tone it down a couple of notches, and then we couldn't hear him. Like, this is a silver cluster leaf. And so try to keep a nice balance between too loud and too soft, and then just relax and enjoy it. So it's breaking the ice, and that can be a little bit nerve-wracking in the beginning. Yeah, so the idea is to see how well you've also captured information and how well you can recite information, and not read information from your pamphlets or from a piece of paper or something like that. If you do get like hopelessly stuck and you're like, hey, I really can't remember something, then we'll assimilate that in the sense of like quickly making use of a reference book in the field. Like if a guest asks you a question and you're not 100% sure, you could quickly flip to the page and say, there's it there, okay? But not like reading from the book as such. That's not the whole mission here. Okay, so yeah, and then everybody else, the phase 2 students that have done this before, at the end of it, like we could ask questions. So sometimes asking a question can remind the candidate of certain pieces of information. So we're not here to catch you out. It's not about putting you in your spot or making you feel uncomfortable. It's always a learning experience, and it's the positives that we take from it. So and then at the end of it, the guys that have done it already, if at the end of it, once the candidate is finished and done, and then you can always add on if you want to add on, because there's always extra learning. Okay, and then everybody else that so for example, like you doing your tree. And now Prince is presenting his tree, or whoever's presenting, you must also learn from that as well. And so the sort of I wouldn't say the trap, but what happens with some people is that they kind of try to wiggle their way through like a shortcut and say, like, I've got my tree now, and then when it comes to practical assessment, they only present their tree. That's definitely not what we're trying to achieve here. Okay, so when it comes to like the minimum requirement on an assessment, the final assessment, you need to, like including grasses and trees and other plants, the minimum requirement is up to 10 to 15 different species. But we don't believe in minimum requirements at FGASA. So the assessment sheet that you guys will have at the back of your workbooks, that final assessment sheet, that sheet is actually it's a CASITA sheet. It's a minimum requirement. So we always go higher. We always believe in achieving higher standards when it comes to anything with botany and everything in the field.